What's up, nerds? I'm Jared, and if there's one thing I dig more than a gripping narrative, it's an action flick that'll blow your mind with explosions, stunts, and epic one-liners. Today, we're blasting into the past, diving into the neon-soaked, grunge-infused world of 1990s action cinema. We're gonna sort through the cinematic chaos of the decade with a tier ranking, separating the genuine diamonds from the cinematic rubble. Get ready to revisit the era of massive muscles, cheesy one-liners, and villains so charismatic they'd make Cruella de Vil look like Mary Poppins. So buckle up, my fellow action aficionados, because we're about to navigate the action-packed landscape that was the 1990s. It's gonna be a wild ride, so hold on to your hats, because things are about to get explosive. Alright, nerds, welcome back to part 3 of this extravaganza full of 90s action movies and cool stuff. So glad you could join us. While you're here, please go ahead and give the video a like even though you haven't watched it yet. That makes absolutely no sense, but do it anyway. Right now. I'll give you a second. Done that? I believe you. Alright, this is part 3 of our 90s extravaganza. We've got 20 more movies, the final 20, and then we might even go back and take a look at the ones that were best movie ever and see if we want to rearrange them and do some other stuff. But for now, let's jump right into it. As you can see, the rankings are still the same. Best movie ever, pretty damn good, good, meh, or no recollection, less than good, and trash. So far, we've only had a few in the trash category. All right, starting off this list tonight is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Now, while we can all agree that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is a fun romp through Ninja Turtleville, it's probably not the most action-packed movie on this list. In fact, it's far from it. It's still good, though. I will always consider the Ninja Turtle movies more comedy than action, even though there are a lot of cool fight scenes in them. Not so much as the first one in this one, though. And again, we are talking about action movies, not what I think of them as movies, okay? So just, I want to tell you that right now, because I'm going to put one of these in a category in a minute. You're going to be like, you son of a bitch, I ain't supposed to go there, or however you talk. We are talking action movies, so unfortunately, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 has to go into the meh category. I thought there could have been a little bit more action, but it wasn't a bad, again, it's not a bad movie, just a bad action movie, or a meh action movie in this case. And I can already tell the second one on our list is going into the same place, Jumanji. As far as an action movie goes, and again, this is what Google gave me, this is what I have to work with. Jumanji, definitely not an action movie, so we're just gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. Jumanji is a good movie, though. It's a good, funny movie that has a lot of action spots in it, but for an action movie in the 90s, it's just, this is where it goes. All right, now, maybe the granddaddy of them all, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. You know this is going into the best movie ever category, right? But I gotta talk about it for a second so I can show some videos of it. T2 is probably the most iconic movie I think I ever remember watching growing up as a kid, because I'd seen the first Terminator, and I knew that Terminators were supposed to be bad, and then when this one was getting advertised that he was going to be a good guy and there was going to be another bad Terminator, that just sounded great, because who doesn't want to be on Team Arnold? The story for Terminator 2 is, it's probably one of James Cameron's best work. I mean, tells a complete story about why he's there. It's full of action. It's full of drama. Final scenes, you just really feel for John, because John has finally got this father figure in his life, and he has to lower it into a vat of liquid metal to destroy it. And that sucks. Even as a kid, it sucked. But like when you're an adult now, like when you get later on up in life in those years, you watch that scene and you just kind of get... and it sucks. That sucks too. T2, Terminator 2 is definitely going into the best movie ever. Unlike the next one on the list, which is Street Fighter. Once again, movie that we were so excited for as kids. It came out. We totally loved it. Years later, we went back and watched it and said it was a flaming dumpster pile of crap. And that's what Street Fighter is as a movie. We're talking about action movies. And it wasn't even a good one of those. There's no way to polish this turd. So let's go ahead and get it over with. Let's rip the Band-Aid off and let's put it in trash. All right, coming up next is another Van Damme movie called Sudden Death. Now this one I actually like. It's one I would have to go back and watch for specifics on things. I know he's either a cop or security guard for a hockey team. Terrorists break into the hockey arena, hold everybody hostage, threaten to blow the place up if demands aren't met. Okay, so that's bad. We don't like that. And of course, Jean-Claude Van Damme has to go around and not let them do what they intended on doing. As I recall, it's pretty filled with action. I'd have to, again, watch it again for the specifics, but it's specific enough that I remember it was good. good, at least. And you might put it in the less than good. You might put it in the pretty darn good, but I'm going to put it in the good right now. Do you remember Sudden Death? If you remember Sudden Death, comment below and tell me what you thought about it. All right, up next, you know what? I don't even know. Starship Troopers. Let's just get this out of the way. Again, we're talking action movies. We're not talking great movies. Starship Troopers goes straight to pretty damn good because it was pretty damn good. It is just action-packed sci-fi nonsense at its finest, and it's just fantastic. I just love it. This is literally one of them movies where there's never a dull moment. I think maybe the only time in this movie where there's not a bit of action going on is when they're in the spaceship and she's already, what's her name? Denise Richards' character. She's getting sweet on the other captain, and they're like, they have a little, cutesy little flirty kind of thing going on, and it's dumb. But then that's right before an asteroid gets hurled at them and destroys another one of their ships, which snaps us back into action mode, and away we go. Starship Troopers definitely goes into the category that is damn good. Up next is Fight Club, and this is where I piss the entire internet off, because Fight Club is, in my opinion, again, the way the story is set up, it's like a drama with action. It's a great storytelling movie, but to me, there's just not enough action in it to put it in. I mean, be honest with me, whether you like Fight Club or don't like Fight Club, would you put Fight Club in the same category as Starship Troopers, Terminator 2, or The Matrix, Predator? Would you put them next to each other? No, I wouldn't. And that's why it's gonna go in less than good as far as an action movie. And I await your hateful comment. I'm waiting. Go ahead. Type something. I dare you. Just kidding. Be nice. Up next, Saving Private Ryan. No doubt here, Saving Private Ryan is gonna go into one of the best movie ever category because, quite frankly, I am convinced, next to The Dark Knight, Saving Private Ryan, I think I'd put it up there as literal best movie ever. Got a lot of things in Saving Private Ryan that really kind of brought you the horrors of war, brought you back down to reality of what some of these kids had to go through, and some of those older officers that had been, in the military a while and what they had to deal with. It even breaks it down to like how, a soldier may feel the mission may not be in the best interest of everything, but they still got to do it because it's their job. Saving Private Ryan, if I had to pick one out of all these and put it alone as best movie ever, that's how I feel about that. All right, here's the other Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan, Clear and Present Danger. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way because just like Patriot Games, I do not remember much about this movie, if at all. I mean, like, it's to the point where I think I remember parts, but I don't even remember if it was The Patriot or that movie, so I gotta go watch it again. All right, up next, Striking Distance, another Bruce Willis film. Striking Distance is about a cop whose partner is murdering people, and he doesn't find out. Well, he does kind of find out. He kind of accuses him, and then it goes on trials, and so everybody at the police kind of hate him now for being a snitch, even though the guy was murdering people. Sarah Jessica Parker is in this as well. This one I felt like was kind of under the radar as far as action movies go. I really enjoyed it, though. I thought it was one of Bruce Willis's better movies. It's not on the same pedestal that Die Hard is on, but I would put it up there. I think it's as good of a movie, if that makes any sense. Like, nobody else would probably agree with me on that. Or they might. I don't know. Once again, use those comment sections. Pretty darn good for Striking Distance. All right, now we have Die Hard with a Vengeance, the third of the Die Hard installment, because I don't count anything after this one. I don't want to say it was a welcome change because nothing was wrong with the other two movies, but the way you added kind of a partner, this would be the first Die Hard movie where he has an actual real partner. Like, he always has people that helps him along, but he never really has a partner. And it's hard to say Samuel L. Jackson is his partner because they don't get along for most of the movie. But they end up getting together and working together and saving America. At least stopping Jeremy Irons from stealing all the gold. 7 out of 10 for Die Hard with a Vengeance. It's pretty darn good too. And this is kind of one, you know how I say, like, some actor, if you put any other actor in there, it just doesn't work. I feel like this is the same with Samuel L. Jackson in this movie. I think if you take him out of the equation, it's a completely different movie. All right, up next, Men in Black. Men in Black definitely borders on the line of comedy action. It's still actiony enough that I'm gonna give it a good ranking. Now, movie-wise, it's pretty damn good. Action-wise, I don't think it's up there with Starship Troopers, Striking Distance, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. But as an action movie, just good. And it might even be slightly better than good, but it's not pretty damn good as far as action goes. All right, Escape from LA. Let's get this one out of the way right now. I'm going to put it in the no recall. I remember when it came out, it probably did huge at the box office. I don't remember all that much about it. All right, so that's where Escape from LA goes, just because I don't remember the specifics. So The Siege is next, and The Siege, another one, Bruce Willis is heavy on this list, which, I mean, it's the 90s. I figured he would be. So if you haven't seen The Siege, Denzel Washington is in it, Bruce Willis is in it. Also, Tony Shalhoub, Annette Annette Bening is in this. Pretty riveting movie. I enjoyed it a lot because it really kind of touched on the grounds of how far are we willing to go to snuff out a terrorist threat. Kind of showed what can happen if we go too far here in our own country, not like abroad, not in Iraq or anywhere like that. So you have the FBI on one hand trying to solve these threats. Then you have it never really says whether she's CIA. She's from another agency. I can't remember if it says or not. Anyways, but then you have the Army on the other side, and the Army, of course, being ran by the president, who in this particular case is Bill Clinton. Though he's not shown, it's alluded to that he is the president. It's a good movie though. Action, there's plenty of it. But again, more on the psychological side. As far as this one goes, it's a pretty damn good movie, but as an action movie, there's really not there's 2 or 3 scenes that are pretty action-y packed, but really other than that, it's a lot of talking and figuring things out. So I'm going to put it in good for action movie because it was there. There wasn't a lot. All right, next up is TJ's favorite, The Matrix.
Matrix sucks.
Well, The Matrix is on the list, so we got to talk about The Matrix. If you've watched this before, we don't hold this movie in high regards as a good movie, but we aren't talking about good movies. We're talking about action movies. So was The Matrix a good action movie? Absolutely it was. Did I like anything else about it? Not particularly. I'm just not a big Matrix guy. But it had really cool special effects, really kind of set the mold for special effects as we know it, because people, after this movie, started taking a little more risk with special effects, like where the helicopter just kind of bounces off the building there, and the glass. Really cool visually. And it is an action movie. So as an action movie, full of action. So as much to TJ's dismay, we've got to put this in the pretty darn good. All right, we're down to the final 5, and up next is Jurassic Park. It's a really different kind of action movie because you have dinosaurs. This was in 1993, too. It was a different kind of film. It was a different kind of action. You know, you were being chased by a dinosaur, not a terrorist or something. They did a really good job visually in Jurassic Park as far as action-packed. They were always running from something. There was always something on their heels. You really feel like you're kind of there with them in the park. They did a good job with that, and for that reason, Jurassic Park, I gotta put it up here in best movie ever as far as action goes. Well, up next on the list, we have True Lies, another Schwarzenegger film. This one also stars Jamie Lee Curtis and some other people. I can't think of the guy's name. Tom Arnold. It also had Bill Paxton. I think, Bill Paxton was the sleazy car dealer guy that tried to get with Jamie Lee Curtis because she needed a little more action in her life. And she chose Bill Paxton, who plays the goofiest role I think he's ever played. And this True Lies is another one that borderlines comedy. It's really a comedy with a bunch of action in it. And a little bit of drama sprinkled in, too. I didn't think it was the greatest action movie in the world. Now, I mean, they have elements that you just can't top, like the jet fight. There are scenes like that that push it into the pretty darn good. Because otherwise, it's just an alright action movie, but because of the type of action that it's in, we're gonna put it in pretty darn good. Up next is the second installment of the first Batman Return. Batman's back, and he's with Michelle Pfeiffer, Christopher Walken, and Danny DeVito. Another Tim Burton weird thriller that is a Batman movie. I didn't like this one as much as the first Batman. I did like it better than Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. Batman Returns was good. I didn't like what they did with the penguin, making him an actual penguin-like thing. I will say, though, Michelle Pfeiffer still smoking hot in that vinyl suit. Christopher Walken plays just a quirky dude in this movie, and I feel like it's one of Christopher Walken's roles that he really doesn't get to Christopher Walken it up as much. He's more serious, and even in movies where Christopher Walken's serious, he's still funny. In this one, he's a lot more cold. He's a lot more chilling in it, which I think is neat because you don't get to see him do that very often. I'm actually, and I hate to do this because like I said, I think Batman Forever was a better action movie than Batman Returns. Just me being honest. Batman and Robin, I just didn't like at all. But I'm gonna put Batman Returns in less than good. It's just, action-wise, it wasn't where it could have been. All right, we're down to the final 2, and up first is Predator 2. Predator 2 is super action-packed, and it really gets away from Predator 1 in the fact that this one takes place in Los Angeles and not a Cambodian jungle. That adds some depth to the movie, because now you have the alien monster wreaking havoc on Los Angeles. Predator 2, just overall great action movie. Pretty darn good. And for that, it's going to go in the pretty darn good category if I can ever get back to that screen. There it is. All right, and last on our list is U.S. Marshals. This is basically the sequel to The Fugitive. Instead of Harrison Ford this time in U.S. Marshals, we have Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes, I think, is a great action actor. Of course, get to see in Demolition Man, but also Blade. I know he got into a little bit of trouble with the authorities there a while back. But U.S. Marshals is a great movie. It's a follow-up. Tommy Lee Jones, great performance in The Fugitive, but it's even better in this one. This is has also got a very young Robert Downey Jr. in it, and of course most of the same cast from The Fugitive. This one is more, The Fugitive was more focused on Harrison Ford, with these guys as sort of the U.S. Marshals is kind of a backstory, to whereas U.S. Marshals I feel like focuses a lot more on the U.S. Marshals part of it, and to where Wesley Snipes' story, though pivotal, is the backstory, because Robert Downey Jr.'s character is not a good guy in the end. I'd almost put it in the best movie ever category, but I'm going to go with just pretty damn good, because I don't think it is quite to the level of the other three that I compare all the rest of the action movies to on this list. It is very close to being best movie ever. We're just going to keep it in pretty damn good for right now, because I think that's where it goes. All right. Well, that wraps up part 3 of our 1990s action movie spectacular. We went through 60 movies and we ranked them, and how many best movie evers did we get? Week 1, best movie ever, Time Cop, which, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Best movie last week, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Fifth Element, and Independence Day. And if I had to pick one of those action movies that was up there, it's probably Independence Day. This week, though, I don't know. It's pretty tough. Terminator 2, Saving Private Ryan, and Jurassic Park. My gut says Saving Private Ryan because I just love the movie so much, but I think Terminator 2 wins in the best movie ever category if we had to just pick one. Maybe that's what I should have done. And maybe if I do another one of these, we could go back to the 80s and try this again. I don't know. 60 movies is a lot. 60 movies is a lot. It's a lot of editing. But I'll do it if you want me to. Thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can always notify. Yes, hit the notification bell so you can notify us. That's great, Jared. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we post new content, because we post new content a lot, and we really like it if you're there to watch it, because we do this just for you, and it's fun. Once again, comment below. Tell me if you think I got it right. Tell me if you think I got it wrong. Where would you put these movies if not where I put them? And why are you wrong? Just kidding. All right, thanks for watching. Good night.